What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Band of Barbers podcast. I'm your host, DeVaughn Evans, and thank you guys for tuning in. Tonight is episode 50. 50, guys. We made it to 50 days, 50 podcasts. It's been a task, but we're here now. So tonight I want to give you guys something a little special, a little different. Well, we won't say different, but we'll call it special. So have you ever thought about barbers who charge $100? And for the average person, they say, there's no way that I'm going to charge $100 or no way that a haircut is worth $100. And you know what? Honestly, that's true. For most barbers, a haircut is not worth $100. And tonight we're going to tell you why. So, and a barber who charges $100, right? Typically, this is my experience, this is what I've seen. Typically, their service time is going to be anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half, right? And it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, and that's just to me, right? It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. If a barber is taking an hour or hour and a half on a service, I'm going to tell you the truth, they probably really don't know what they're doing. And that may seem offensive, that may seem rude, or whatever it is, but a barber who's charging an hour or charging $100 for an hour and a half service, and we're just talking about a basic haircut or a haircut and a beard, right? Talking about those two, they're charging $100 an hour. This is what I'll say is their issue. They're trying to make money, but they refuse to become efficient at what they're doing, right? So they refuse to become efficient in their services, their techniques. They will probably, they probably either do one of or a few things that's slowing them down, right? And they're saying, I'd give a good service, but they're just not paying me enough. They're doing a couple different things. Number one, they don't really understand their system. Their system is broken, okay? So their system is broken, and why is their system broken? Because they're not working at a level of efficiency. So, you know, how do you move efficiently as a barber? Here's a question. Here's the answer. If I pick up a number one guard, right, I'm going to do everything I can do with that number one guard. Everything I can do with that number one guard, that's what I'm going to do. Then I'm going to put the number one guard down. And then I'm going to pick up my next guard. I'd say it's a 2. All right, 2 guard. I'm going to do everything that I can do with that number 2 guard. And so on and so forth. So they're doing that, and they're probably also cutting, let's say, half the head, or they're cutting the head in 3 different sections. They're not cutting the entire head. Guys, the chair moves. The chair moves for a reason, to allow you to be more efficient. So why would you, if the chair moves, pumps up and down, and does everything like that, why would you use the chair as if it doesn't move? Why would I cut one side of the head, do a full haircut on that side, then go to the other side of the head, do a full haircut on that side, and then I'm going to come to the back and I'm going to connect it in the back? You just did 3 haircuts, and more than likely you haven't even cut the top yet. So you did 3 haircuts. So you're going to do all those haircuts, and then let's say you throw a beard in there. Then you're going to go back through your process and then cut the beard. So you're going to do one half of the beard and the other half of the beard. And You're killing yourself. So you take an hour, hour and a half, and you said, because I'm so good at what I do, I'm going to charge you $100. I just have a hard time with that. I have a hard time with that. Now, if this is what I'll say, in this world, in life, and everything that we're doing, speed is everything. Now, if you can get this service done and you can provide an elite service in 30 minutes, right? If you can provide an elite service in 30 minutes, I'll pay you $100. Why? Because time is everything. Timing in this industry, there isn't a barber who has stood behind a chair who has said, who has not said, I need to get better at my time. Time is everything. 30, and I'll say this, 30 to about 45 minutes is a sweet spot. 30 minutes for a haircut, 45 minutes for a haircut and beard. Now, there's some people that can cut way faster than that, right? If you guys tune in to Marv, he had a guest on there, and he said that his business model is, I need to get them in and out the chair in 15 minutes. I'm not saying that you have to do that. That's not something that I'm willing to do. But there are certain haircuts that I can knock out in 20 minutes. There are certain haircuts I can knock out in 15 minutes. There is. But my 15-minute haircuts and my 20-minute haircuts are few. I'm in the average of about a 30-minute mark. It's about average for me. All right? 30 minutes, 35, and with the haircut and the beard, I'm at about 35 to 40 minutes. 45 minutes really being like max time on a service. Max time on a service. How do I accomplish this? I work efficiently. Okay, so we're talking, and when we're looking at this, $100 barber or $100 a head, and he's taking an hour and a half. Now, great. If he has 8 clients lined up for the day, and he works an 8-hour day, he's gonna make $800. But I promise you, there isn't a line wrapped around his building waiting for them to pay $100. Because I don't want to pay you $100 and then you trap me in a chair for an hour and a half. I just don't. I don't want to be. I'm getting a haircut. And yes, this is an art. Yes, this is about being efficient. Yes, this is about all of those things. But what it is not about is sitting in a chair for an hour and a half. I don't care how good the haircut looks after an hour and a half. I don't want to sit in a chair for that long. I just don't. And that's me. Most people don't want to sit in a chair for that long. Hour and a half, right, is average time for like barber students. And guess what? When they're in barber school and you take an hour and a half on their haircut, and you're providing that service, you take an hour and a half, they paying what, $7, $5, some even free, maybe $10 for a haircut? So you telling me that you went to barber school, if you had no experience, you provided the service between an hour and a half on a basic service, hour and a half. And again, keep in mind, guys, we're talking about basic services. Basic. We're not talking about magazine quality or Hollywood style. We're talking about basic haircuts. And just because it's basic doesn't mean that it has to be bad. I just want to say that. But we're talking about barber students taking an hour and a half, and they're charging somewhere, the school is charging anywhere between $7 and, let's say $12. $12 might be the max, typically. You paying that. Now you done got out in the world, you done got in your shop, and now you think that you've done something or whatever, or you have some skills, and now you're saying, oh, okay, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to charge them $100 because I'm nice. All right. I mean, that cool. You can put $100 up there all you want to, but you know, this doesn't make any sense. $100 for an hour and a half? That's just crazy. It's crazy because, again, like I said, if you're taking an hour and a half, you lack efficiency and you really lack understanding of your system. Your system is broken. You're not utilizing the chair. You don't have the proper tool. You don't have the proper tools. You don't have all of these things. And most $100 barbers really aren't that busy. You know what I'm saying? For the average person who says, I want to charge $100, you know what that says to me? I really don't want to cut hair, but if I'm gonna cut your hair, I'm gonna charge you $100. I really don't want to cut hair, but if I'm gonna cut your hair, I'm gonna charge you $100. Please, please, take a step back from the industry. Look at what you're doing and how you're doing it to the industry, and let's say something else about some of these $100 barbers. Now, situation dictates, right? I'm gonna say this: situation dictates. If you're on Rodeo Drive in Los Angeles, California, $100 for a haircut might make sense. If you're in a large metropolitan area and you're on, one of the main streets or the main places in the city or things like that, or the city demands that type of price as a regular price. You got a nice building with a nice ambiance. You got all of those things. $100 might make sense, but for the average barber, it doesn't, because you can't tell me I'm gonna charge you $100 and then my toilet doesn't work. I'm gonna charge you $100 and my barbershop is in the middle of a gang-ridden community. Because if you're charging $100 in a gang-ridden community and you're doing all this kind of stuff, I don't care what type of service, what type of quality service you may provide, you stealing from the community. Hate it or love it. As Cold Cuts Barber says, you can dislike it all you want to, but I can fight in real life. I'm just telling you. If you're charging $100 and it's gunshots, you got bars on your windows, all of this type of stuff, and you're charging $100 because you just that sweet, you are stealing from your community. Stealing. And truth be told, you should be ashamed of yourself. You charging, and again, you charging the people $100. Like I said, you charging $100 because you slow. I got to make this money, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hit them with $100 because I'm nice. How many people lining up for you? You sitting in that chair like Cedric the Barber, like Cedric the Entertainer in Barbershop. Offering the other barber scoop of mashed potatoes because I got a select clientele. No, you're slow, and it's only a certain amount of people that's willing to deal with you. It's only a certain amount of people that's willing to deal with you. So instead of working on getting your service times down and charging a reasonable price, I mean, let's be honest, $30, maybe $45 in this day and age, reasonable price. For some people, it's still high. Think about what the client has to give up in order to do that, to get there, right? Just dawned on me the other day, I ain't made minimum wage in a long time, so I didn't really know anything about it. Not being cocky, just didn't know. Federal minimum wage is $12 an hour. $12 an hour. So you are asking someone to give up 5 hours, right? Am I right? No. You're asking somebody to give almost a full work day. I'm sorry, math is off. You're asking somebody to give up almost a full work day, right, to get a haircut with you for an hour and a half. I'm not taking nothing away from the artistic things that exist as far as being a barber and the skill set and the things you learn and all that kind of stuff. I'm not taking anything away from that. I am saying that $100 in the hood doesn't make sense if you really truly care about the community. And if you don't care, you don't care. That's neither here nor there. And don't care, don't care. But I'm telling you that as far as it's concerned, it doesn't make sense. And somebody told me earlier this week, they said people that charge that much for a haircut, they probably just try to pay for their rent. You didn't like working for somebody. You didn't like doing all this kind of stuff. So you jumped out there. You didn't have the system in place. You didn't have your efficiency in place. So you said, I'm going to get behind this chair. I'm going to open up my own shop, and I'm going to charge people $100 a head. And they're going to give me my money because I've been watching all the YouTube barbers do that. You do realize that most of the people that you're watching that are talking about this also make money from YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or other places. They don't just, and we talked about this last night in the levels of value, they don't just charge $100 a haircut. They have products, services, courses, they create content, they do all of this type of stuff. But you think, I'm just going to charge people $100 a haircut. In your raggedy building where the ceiling's falling down, the smell's wet in there, I don't ever take care of the bathroom, I don't do any of that stuff. Just tell the truth, you really don't want to work. You really don't want to work. You really don't want to learn, right? You're probably the same person in school that didn't really pay attention or anything like that. You said, oh, why they teaching us that? I ain't going to never do that. I ain't going to never pay attention. That's not something that I'm going to provide because I'm me and I'm nice. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. You nice. Sure. Right, but you care nothing about the business. You care nothing about any of those sorts of things. I got to feed my family. We all got to feed our families. We all have to feed our families. It's more likely that I can increase my money by providing 30-minute services at, let's say, $45. Right? It's more likely that I can increase my income by 30-minute services at $45 that I will catch more clientele than saying I'm gonna charge $100 for an hour and a half service. And some of you, some of you are providing this service, and the only thing you give them is a haircut. And again, no, we can talk about Steve Harvey's barber or whoever. Oh, well, Steve Harvey's barber was getting $1,500 a haircut back then. And, times have changed. I could get $100 at least. Really? Have you ever actually read the story of what Steve Harvey's barber was doing before he got in? Steve Harvey's barber based his price on a few different things to go and cut Steve Harvey. He based his stuff on travel time, right? He was going 3 days a week. Well, he was cutting his hair 3 times a week. So he's there three days a week. So he based his services on travel time, right? That's one. Money lost in the shop. Okay? And I think he put a little English on it, a little personal tax, right? He put a little personal tax on it because Steve Harvey was asking him to go from Texas to California every week. Now, if you haven't read his book or you don't really know anything about him, and you get this closed-ended mind saying that he was doing all of this, read his book. Go read his book. He was cutting 6 heads an hour at $20 a piece when Steve Harvey asked him to leave and come with him. And working an 8-hour day with a 30-minute lunch break. 30-minute lunch break. So let's just, and I'm going to do this. Let's say he was doing, like I said, he was doing, I think his average was about 6 heads an hour times $20 a piece is $120 times 8 hours. Times 8, he was making $960 a day. $960 a day. Oh, did I forget to mention that he had an assistant to help with his efficiency and his speed. He had who also helped schedule his appointments and do all of those sorts of things. He set up his system in the right way. His system wasn't broken. He had a system that allowed him to cut 6 heads in an hour. Okay. But $100 for your hour for your one person for an hour service makes sense to you. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I'm just telling you that it does not really add up. You haven't really met your efficiency gate yet, right? You just haven't. And take it personal. Don't take it personal. Say, do what works for you. But if all you're doing again is providing $100 service, nothing else, and you are in a less than desirable neighborhood, you are robbing the community around you. You are robbing the community around you. You can upgrade yourself and personally, and that's honestly probably for a lot of you that's what it is. You don't want to really do the personal work and the personal development in order to be able to find consistent $100 clients. So you would rather rob the people who are your people, and then you get upset because they talking about me. Yeah, you're right. They are. I'm sure they are. Because if you set up shop and you charging $100 in an impoverished community, and every person comes in talking about, what's going on here and how, I'm fighting for my job, or I ain't got a job, and so on and so forth, and you saying cheese. Well, guess what? This haircut right here is $100. So if you ain't got it, you can't get in my chair because I'm me. That's your brand. That's your brand. I'm telling you, you can catch a lot more flies with the honey between $30 and $45 than you can at $100. Stop being so basic down here. We talked about it yesterday. Barbering, the act of providing the service of a barber, is the lowest level of value that you can provide to the marketplace. Hate it, love it, dislike it. I'd love for somebody to prove me wrong. It's the lowest level of value. You charging $100 so you can do what? Stunt on people? You can be flashy. Yeah, I'm getting $100. How booked out are you? Are you the once in a blue moon barber? How many consistent clients do you have at $100 a head? I'm telling you right now, the person that can afford to pay you $100 a haircut and think nothing about it ain't sitting in no chair for no hour, hour and a half. They got stuff to do. Cut my hair, like just like the video on social media. Hey yo, dog, cut my hair. They they don't have time to sit in no chair for no hour, hour and a half. They just don't. They got stuff to do. They're trying to they listen, if they can afford this easily, they're trying to continue to be able to afford this. It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. So I'm just saying, it would be more. It would be in your best interest. It's just me and my thoughts. It would be in your best interest to work on, and I'm gonna give you some things to work on. If you listen this far, I appreciate it. If you pissed off, whatever, it's fine. It would be in your best interest to work to get your services down from an hour, hour and a half to about 30 minutes. 30 minutes for a basic haircut, 45 minutes for a haircut and beard. It would be advantageous for you to get everything down to this 30-minute mark, but we're going to be nice, but since you're working at an hour, hour and a half, and say, can we get it down to 30, 45 minutes? Can we get it down to 30, 45 minutes? See, because as like I said, as a barber, and especially as a young barber, and you're trying to get after it, you're trying to get to it and everything like that. If you skip this stage and understanding these sorts of things, like stop, listen, we provide a service and we are lucky enough to have people come and sit in our chair, and that is an honor as a barber, because there are barbers all, if you live in any type of somewhat large area, there are barbers everywhere. And so if a person comes and decides to sit in your chair, you need to look at it as an honor, because it is. They are the customer. They have the right to go choose and patronize whatever business they would like to patronize. They're not locked into you. Stop treating these people like your spouse or significant other. Oh, so and so went to go sit in somebody else's chair. So what? You didn't do something that they. Again, the average person that you're dealing with has a job. So what does that mean? They are trading time for money. They are trading hours of their life, or most people, they're trading hours of their life to pay for something that you are doing. Shouldn't they have control? You got control in being able to choose who you cut, choose who you fire, not fire, who you work with, who you don't. You have that choice. I'm just saying. How is it that you get that choice, but they don't? They don't get that choice. Once they sit in your chair, mine for life. This is not a death row contract. You were not Suge Knight. And if you are acting like that with your clientele, I understand why they're leaving. Because it takes a special somebody to deal with that. Hate it, love it, be upset, don't really care. It takes a special person to deal with somebody that treats them like that. So what? They chose to go get a haircut. And this is America, right? I'm pretty sure. We have freedom of speech, right to bear arms, all of those sorts of things. When did we lose the ability to choose who we shop with? When did the client lose that ability? Oh, you go sit in my chair and that's it. You stuck with me for life. You're not even here every day. It is what it is, guys. guys. But look, please, please increase your increase your income by decreasing your time and then work your way up. You may get to $100. You can listen to guys like um, I'm not gonna call no names, but you can listen to the social media people who say that we took such and such barber from this price to this price and they're winning and so on and so forth and yada 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 yada. You can say all that you want to. I'm a barber who would like to serve the community. Now, am I going to serve the community at the cheapest price? Absolutely not. But I've worked my way up. I was at the hour and a half before. But I've worked my way into the 30, 45-minute range, some, depending on the type of haircut, 20, 15 minutes. I've worked my way to that. Should I charge $100? No. No, I shouldn't. Could I, like, no. No, because I know the community and the clientele that I serve, and I am not going to rob them. When I have clients coming in getting a haircut and trying to calculate if they're going to have enough gas money to get to work next week, you think that I'm going to pay? No. No. When I can go and provide other things, I'm doing this podcast for you guys. I've got some other things that I got all of these other things that I can do along with. I'm not going to maximize this at $100. I'll never cut a head. I probably will. I ain't going to lie to you. I probably will, but it'll be few and far between. It'll be few and far between. Right now in the environment that I'm cutting in. Now, if I want to get to this $100, I got to go work in another environment. But in the environment where I have established myself and got clientele, they are not $100 clients. And you say, oh, well, you don't know what they're willing to pay. That's all well and good. I know what I'm not willing to charge them. The clientele that I have right now, I'm not willing to charge them $100. I'm not. You do with it what you will. You do with it what you want. Really doesn't matter to me. And I'm telling you guys, get your system down, get your time down, watch your money increase. Stop being so stuck on where you are and everything. Like, stop at the great. You can give a great haircut. That's fine. That's fine. But and I'll leave you with this example. A five-star restaurant is a five-star restaurant for a reason. It has more to do with than just the food that they cook. It's a whole experience. And if you're not providing a whole experience that could be valued at $100, right? And typically your services to people should be valued more than what you're paying for it. Should be valued at more than what they're paying for. If it's not valued at that, then you need to increase the value of all of the things, the service, it all needs to be increased, guys. It all needs to be increased. And to increase it the most effective way, guess what you have to do? You have to look inside, do some personal development, and figure out how you can grow. Okay? That's what you got to do. Figure out how you can grow. Either way, guys, I'm your host, DeVaughn Evans. It's been another episode of the Band of Barbers podcast, episode 50. And I just really want you guys to think. If you're thinking about, I'm going to jump up to $100, I need you to understand: are you ready, and is your clientele ready? If your clientele is not ready, if you are not ready, you're gonna jump. You're gonna slingshot. You're gonna jump up. You're gonna jump up in this price. And you're gonna slingshot right back down. And then you're gonna feel some sort of way because people are gonna look at you. And they may not say it to you, but they're gonna look at you and say, "Oh yeah, it came back down to a reasonable price, huh?" All right. That high price doesn't always equate to wealth. You're getting $100 a haircut and you only cut one head a day. What does it level out to be? And I'm telling you guys, I'm not asking you to be a machine, but I'm asking you to be reasonable based on where you are. Right? If you're in Rodeo Drive, you know, right on Fifth Avenue or places like that, those things demand that. If you are, and I'll say this, if you are some sort of, say, mobile barber, right? We may be up there in price, but for just you come to my shop, I'm gonna charge you $100. I'm gonna tell you this. Leave you guys with this quote that was always said to me when I was in the military, and I believe it. Charge $100 to those clientele that are struggling to pay their bills and everything like that. The number one question they're gonna ask is, "What have you done for me lately?" That's what they're gonna ask. In the end, guys, it's up to you. I just gave you my opinion, my thoughts. You can respect it just like I respect yours. I'm just telling you, check yourself. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.